Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Great America Show. It's great to have you with us today. A lot going on this week. Tim Walz and J.D. Vance faced off for the first time, and it was rough for Tim Walz. The moderators who said they wouldn't moderated J.D. Vance constantly, fact-checking him constantly when they were even wrong. Tim Walz wasn't really much about China, just about his visit to Tiananmen Square, but wasn't asked about his business dealings or anything he had done with China. I want to bring in today's guest. He's Lee Smith. He's got a brand new book out. It's called Disappearing the President: Trump, Truth Social, and Fighting for the Republic. Lee, it is great to have you with us here today on the Great America Show. I want to start with first that debate between J.D. Vance and Tim Walz. Your takeaways from it. I mean, it wasn't, in my opinion, I don't think it was as bad as the Trump and Biden one as for moderation, but it still wasn't 50-50. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, everyone has to expect that, and that's why we see people on social media, whether it's Twitter or Truth Social, saying the Republican candidates need to stay off of mainstream television. And I agree 100%. I think it's a disaster. People continue to walk into this trap, then people continue to be surprised when the moderators turn out to be biased. I mean, let's remember, for starting in 2016, these same figures at CBS and CNN and NBC, they all accused Donald Trump of being a Russian spy, right? That's where the operation was. It was on it was the media. The media was the platform. Russiagate never would have happened without the media. The FBI could have said whatever they want, but how do they get that message out to people? How do they try to target Trump? Through the press, the Washington Post, the New York Times. So again, the idea that somehow a Republican candidate is going to get a fair shake is preposterous. I mean, what did happen, though, is Vance, I think that everyone recognized that Vance had a very strong performance. He sounded knowledgeable. He sounded buoyant. He wasn't grumpy or angry, as people accuse him of often being. So I thought he came across great. I thought that given the but I have to say, given the expectations for Tim Walz, that, I don't think he was as bad as most everyone else was saying, to be honest. I mean, the guy's been the governor of Minnesota for a while. He knows how to do public speaking, and he wasn't as bad as Joe Biden. He wasn't as bad as Kamala Harris. So, yeah.
It's funny you say that Tim Walz wasn't as bad as, because I just spoke to my father this morning. He's probably one of the smartest people I know. And I said, because I was watching bits and pieces of it as I was on a plane. And I said, what did you think? And he said, JD, exactly what you said. JD came out very strong. Yeah. And we didn't think Tim Walz was as dumb as we thought, but it was just because I don't think they gave him, the old saying is, you give the man enough rope, he'll hang himself. Yeah. I don't think they gave Tim Walz enough rope to hang himself. But the media complicity in all of this, Lee, is totally sickening, and you read about it in your new book. President Trump was asked to go on 60 Minutes again for an interview. And he said, I will come on 60 Minutes again, which, as an advisor to President Trump, if I were, I would tell him, you stay 100 miles away from these people. All it does is hurt you. And it's the same reason he shouldn't debate again, because all it does is hurt you. When you're winning, you don't debate, because there's no reason, because they'll find a way to bring you back down. So Trump says, you know what? I'll come on 60 Minutes under one condition. Now, you would think the condition was they can't ask him X, they can't ask him Y. The one condition is that Leslie Stahl apologizes to him for the interview he cut short, where she had vehemently said the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation, which we know, and we knew back then, Lee, was a lie. Your thoughts?
Well, God bless the president. I mean, he's right to ask for it, and I believe that I believe there's some kind of civil suit or some kind of legal action with the Pulitzer Prize Committee, because they're, the Trump campaign or the Trump organization, I don't know who exactly it is, but is furious. And actually, this is not in the new book, but when most recently, when I spoke with the president several months ago, he raised this issue. He said, the Pulitzer, they should take back all these rewards from the New York Times and the Washington Post who were reporting Russiagate, and it was all a lie. I'm like, yeah, I know. I wrote about that in my first book, Plot Against the President. And I called up, I spoke to the Pulitzer people. They said, no, we're very happy with who won